I live my life, not yours. So everything that I judge you for and look at you with is my own experience, my own lens, my own template. How can I put my lens on you or my template on you when it doesn't fit? You're living your life, not mine. The second agreement in the Four Agreements by Ruiz was to not take things personally. And I just revisited this book. It's a great one. Man. It should be required reading everywhere, for every office, every school, every situation, every relationship. Because indeed, having expectations and taking things personally has caused so much unnecessary suffering, misunderstanding, which leads to hostility, resentment, mischaracterizations, and really sometimes even slandering each other. Not cool. Not cool to share information out of context or invite other people to get involved. I mean, there's so many things people do after they storyline, believing their own stories are real, when in fact, we all know by a certain age that our thoughts aren't real, that stories aren't true. We have to constantly reflect and question and have so much self-compassion before we can put out the compassion to everybody else. We cannot act on childhood wounds of shame and blame and projection. You did this. I'm going to keep a categorical list of everything you've done wrong and whip it out and weaponize it when you disappoint me, as I'm sure you will do, because we all disappoint each other, right? Not cool. What can we do differently and better, especially during this quarantine, which was supposed to be 40 days, right? How about 40 billion? We're all kind of losing our minds. We all spend a lot of time thinking. But here's the trick, our thoughts aren't real. And again, our lenses might not be very clear. So when you're judging someone and listing everything they've done wrong, remember that you have your own list. Whether or not they hit you back with that list, it doesn't matter. I was grateful to get one of the lists. I went through it and I said, I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm going to work on some of these things. You might be absolutely right. I'm going to explore this. Thank you for the feedback. And I love you. I wish you well. Really meaning it. Like I didn't say it until I meant it. It took a while because it stung. It stings to get a note or a message like that out of the blue, especially when you know that that person's been communicating with a lot of other people, involving everyone from like their therapist to their partner who doesn't know you to all kinds of other people. And then you meet some people in public and they turn their backs to you and won't even talk to you based upon something that someone said. Like some elementary school playground where there's a game of telephone and the tall tales grow taller along the line there. We don't need any of that stuff. We as in humanity, that's what starts wars and fights, and that's when the Proud Boys start coming out thinking they're going to shoot everybody to punish people. For what? What were you reading? The wrong news? I mean, my news must be right and yours must be wrong, right? Because I'm the good guy and you're the bad guy. Do you see how that starts to work against us? Our egos get so hooked, so upset by what people are doing. We rage against them like, how dare you say that to me? When in fact, why wouldn't people say that to you? What, are you special? Like, everyone's been betrayed. This is what I say to myself, by the way. I'm not speaking to anyone but myself. I'm just sharing this with you. This self-dialogue. My dog always thinks I'm yelling at him. It's pretty funny. So who do I think I am, you know? Why wouldn't I be betrayed or abandoned or hurt in the ways that humanity's been hurt for eons? I mean, human neuroses and human behavior hasn't changed much in all these millions of years. Why would I be somehow immune? Even Christ, as he hung on the cross after being tortured and been forced to drink vinegar with his crown of thorns and nails through his body, hung there to die, taunted, beaten, whipped. He looked down and said, Father, or up, wherever, and said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Well, I don't know about you, but I am not Christ-like in any way, shape, or form. I tend to hold a grudge when I'm beaten, metaphorically or otherwise, and I really had to take a look at that because it's not personal. It wasn't personal when Pontius Pilate sold Jesus out. It wasn't personal when Judas delivered his kiss. Judas was weak. He was a coward. I would rather be Jesus hanging on a cross than a coward, you know, or anybody than a coward. And Pontius Pilate was just greedy and corrupt. These characters, whether mythological or real, or whether deeply embedded in your religious history and awareness and life philosophy or not, it doesn't matter. We all play those roles at different times. None of us is without fault here. And so to keep a running log of what someone's done wrong and roll it out is rather reckless, especially since we can't read each other's invisible cue cards. So putting someone on a pedestal and expecting a lot of them and having them constantly disappoint us for not reading our cards and looking at them through our lenses while we're not living their lives, we're living our lives, is a waste of time. What if we did nothing when we were insulted or upset? Or what if we demanded nothing of others? What if we said, okay, that's you showing your human capacities, not you not loving me? So when your friend cries to you from his hospital bed saying, no one has visited me, no one's checking in on me, nobody loves me, therefore I am useless and don't deserve to live, I am unworthy of love, gently remind him that the only thing he's seeing and bumping up against is his ego versus the capacities of others. He's seeing that his friends are overwhelmed, afraid to go in the hospital during quarantine. He's deciding that because they didn't read his invisible cue cards, because he didn't exactly ask them directly to come, that means that he's not loved. That's not what that means. So don't storyline or judge your worth by how you perceive other people to be responding to you. It isn't about you. It isn't about me. Whoever is behaving in any particular way, that's a behavior that's about something they're going through their template, their lens, their perception. Just keep doing your loving work. Keep putting yourself out there however you see fit. And if someone wants to judge your contribution without ever having stepped in the same arena, let them. It means nothing. When someone turns their back to you in a restaurant because of something somebody said that was out of context and you never get your chance to even say a word, do nothing. You don't have to hit anybody back. Even if you have the ammunition, don't use it. A gangster doesn't start fights. A martial artist who's true does not throw a punch. No, do nothing. Muddy water, let stand, get still. I'm not so good at this. I'm learning. I'm not lecturing you from a place of authority or condescension. I'm saying I really struggled with this for a long time, and I'm finally feeling some traction, some fluidity, some ease and awareness that it doesn't really matter. Sometimes letting people and situations go is the most compassionate thing you can do. And definitely don't take things personally. That's the work. I'll let you know how it goes. Stay cool.